So today, we're playing the PYROMANCER, and we have another critting friendly fire build. But this time, it's different. We're using the ARFTIFACT STONE to scale our crit chance just before our friendly fire explodes. But we may also be using a flame up along with Excalibur to be turbo stacking our heats. And we have 2 AMULETS of ENERGY to make it all work. But hey, check this run out and let me know what you think of this build. Okay, let's go and jump some ranked games with a random character and see who we're going to get today. So it looks like we're playing the PYROMANCER. Now we do have the offering bowl, we're going to be offering up some items. We do get our Star of Courage, which is going to help us find some unique items. And also decrease our stamina a little bit with our weapons, which is pretty darn good. Now out of all these options, I'm going to go ahead and buy the broom. Let's buy you, let's buy this flame. Let's roll once, and I definitely want to grab a wooden sword. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're also going to grab everything we can grab on sale. Pretty much. Let's grab you too. And we can't exactly fit in all this, but I am going to do a big gamble. Getting rid of a broom, getting rid of the Amulet Wilds, which is nuts, and we probably should keep the Walrus Tusk and this garlic. Trading up a lot of items and leaving out these items for now. We don't want to actually put them in until we get a big explosion and seeing what sort of craziness we can get from our offering bowl. Now this opponent is doing the same thing except with a little less items, but their DPS is unfortunately going to be a little bit higher. Just pausing the video here very quickly just to ask you to subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks. Now let's get back to the video. So we are going to end up losing, but right now we should get a big gamble. And honestly, this was pretty garbage. We got ourselves a Peasant's Flask, which inflicts a little bit of poison. We got ourselves a bag of stones. Chili Pepper, not so bad actually. This gives us heat and it does gives a little bit of a heal. So for this round, I'm going to grab a bit of storage, even though we can't really afford it. We're going to grab the piggy bank. I'm going to offer up these items once again. Or we could keep our stones and just have a bag of stones type build. Maybe we want to keep this, grab a stone, place the stone in, actually not offer it up. We'll roll once more. I definitely want to start grabbing some whetstones. And healing herbs on sale for 2 is too good not to take. And we are going to move on. Now our DPS is going to be super low, especially with just a wooden sword and a stone. And this opponent has a crazy amulet at start. Yeah, we should have kept our amulet of the wilds. Especially since we got ourselves a Peasant's Flask, which is not going to proc, since our opponent doesn't actually regen health. But they stack block as well. So we literally faced our worst opponent. If they had 1 banana, if they had some healing herbs, we'd actually be inflicting some poison, which would do that chip damage also. But so far it's going to be super close, but we are going to fall short. So I'm glad we're getting rid of this potion for now. And especially we actually got our own Amulet Feasting. We probably do want to keep you. We're going to grab our whetstone, we're going to grab our stone. Let's grab a healing herbs and we're going to roll. I'm actually going to sell some flames so we can actually grab a leather bag. So we can fit this in. And I'm going to move on with this situation for now. We do have our whetstone targeting our stone. We have our Amulet Feasting targeting both our banana and our chili pepper. And we're going to be offering up healing herbs, shiny shell, and a flame to see what sort of craziness we can still continue to get. We're going to keep our Amulet Feasting because that is going to trigger our food items a little bit faster for sure. Which overall should be smashing for us. And so far, this is actually looking pretty good right now compared to our previous 2 fights. And smashing. And what are we going to get? We got ourselves a leather boots and a flame. Now, since we have 2 stones, we could actually end up going for a stone type build. So, let's go ahead and grab it. And that is a freaking Amulet Feasting. Again. Holy moly. Let's roll it for now. And we're going to grab this Draconic Orb to sell. And we're going to buy this. And we're going to increase the speed of our stones. Even just a little bit. Now, we never found any more whetstones, which is a little bit problematic. For sure. And do we want to let go of this Amulet Feasting? I think we are going to let go of this one. And we're going to see. I'm going to keep the boots in because this is going to give us some power, which does increase our stone damage. Which should be awesome overall. Our opponent is going to have this smelly wall. Which means we're going to get a little bit of block from the garlic. And they're being super greedy with all their piggy banks. But so far, with our Amulet Feasting, this banana and chili pepper should be triggering pretty darn fast. Stacking up that heat, giving us tons of healing. And we're getting some block from our stones as well. So all in all, shouldn't be too bad whatsoever. I would have loved to grab a burning blade or literally a hero longsword. So we can stack up a lot more damage on these stones. But unfortunately, it is what it is. But not too bad. Now with that, what are we going to get? We got ourselves a spear, another chili pepper, which is actually pretty darn good, and a garlic. I'm actually going to grab the hunger blade. I'm going to roll once. I'm going to grab the whetstone too. I'm going to sell the piggy bank and an extra flame so we can actually buy this stamina sack. And we're going to offer up that hunger blade. And we're also going to have our amulet feasting disposition. I'm going to sell the spear. Grab the flame that we sold earlier. Roll once. Definitely want to grab another undead for amulet. We might actually want to grab a frying pan. Some blueberries. And potentially go for Excalibur type build. Before we move on, make sure we add in that extra flame. Let's keep it going for now. Because if we turbo stack a lot of heat with Excalibur, we can make those stones trigger super fast. And just get tons of block that way. While also just getting tons of healing. Pyro Excalibur is also pretty darn good for sure. Now this opponent is going to have the turnip, which is going to be stacking up a lot of spikes. They're going to get that big burst heal in that fatigue. They're back nearly to full HP. But so far, actually looking pretty decent for us. Well, I could be in my words, but smashing. Pretty good overall, and now what are we going to get from? We got Amulet of Alchemy. Let's grab this. What's this going to be? The Amulet of Energy. Yeah, we definitely want to go for a frame pan. We're going to grab it for now. We're going to sell the flame to grab sell blueberries. I'm going to move on. And now I'm definitely going to offer up these Amulets of Alchemy. We don't exactly need it, but it might be nice to actually get a mana potion. So once we get Excalibur, we can just get that mana from the very beginning. Might not be too bad, but we'll see. Now this opponent does have some cheese. They also have the stones. Unfortunately, we didn't get any more stones. That's not super great for a stoned skill. Our opponent does have extra Angie, which means we're going to get 2 battle rages, also inflicting a good bit of blind on us. But it's actually looking pretty darn close. And can we win out? And actually smash it, just barely pulling ahead. Not too bad. Now with that, what are we going to get? Okay, smashing actually. Definitely want this leather bag. We got ourselves that stone, that's another bag of stones. Let's grab our holy armor, let's grab the bag of stones, roll once. I definitely want another amulet. Because as soon as we get a stone amulet, we're going to be in a crazy good spot. We definitely want storage, we definitely want undead for amulet, and we're actually going to be offering up our holy armor. Now, not actually adding in the extra bag of stones, but for now, let's go ahead and move on. And we're going to see. Is this actually going to be good enough? Are we going to fall short? Can we win out? We'll have to see. Now, this opponent does have Shell Totem. They're going to have a good bit of healing, and it's looking pretty good for us. We do have tons of block. Our opponent doesn't have a whole lot of DPS. They're just trying to out-survive us. But so far, this is looking really darn awesome for us, for sure. And actually, smashing. Okay, we could definitely go for Flame Up type build. Flame Up Friendly Fire to be making our stones trigger faster and faster. Hell yeah, and especially with the Amulet of Energy, it does mean that every once in a while, we get 1 mana back from a Friendly Fire. So let's grab that. Let's grab the storage. We've got the Amulet of Wilds, which is pretty good. Smashing that it came back to us. And we could grab a customer card right now to help us find a unique item. I think I actually want to grab it. Which means we're going to be taking our frame ban for now. So for this round, we definitely want to grab that customer card, craft up a platinum customer card. We also want to add this into. We definitely need all these items. We might actually take out our bag stones for right now. We're actually going to take out 1 chili pepper. We're going to be offering up this leather boots. We can put our Star of Courage back in. And we're going to be offering up that hero sword. I'm going to roll once. Okay, we could literally go Excalibur instead. Excalibur, Mana Orb. With Flame Up. I think we actually want all that. So I actually think we're going to sell our hero sword. We're going to grab Heroic Potion. We definitely want all these food items for sure. But we're going to be crafting up the Excalibur. As well as that Flame Up. Now we're going to sell the boots. We're going to grab the Mana Orb. And with that, we're just going to move on. Once we get our Flame Up, we should be in a fantastic spot. For sure, and especially with the Amulet of Energy. Because any spikes that we do use up, any heat or mana that we do use up with Friendly Fire, some of it should get refunded. And we're going to be turbo stacking heat like there's no tomorrow. And it should be crazy fantastic. Our opponent does Resurrect, which is not crazy fantastic. And they're inflicting a ton of poison. And unfortunately, we did run out of stamina. But we'll see, we got our Flame Up. That's in our turnip. We're going to grab a bit of storage. We're going to grab the pineapple for now. We definitely want to grab more chili peppers. I'm going to leave this pineapple for now. And we're going to move on. Now, we did take out 1 set of stones. And we're going to have this bag of stones up top, and we may actually want to get rid of this eventually. We're looking to stack up a bunch of mana, and it's going to be pretty hard with the friendly fire. Unfortunately, it is going to eat a lot of our mana, so we definitely need to find much more mana orbs. And unfortunately, we did go up against a villain sword, which is pretty darn bad for us. Now, we did get hardwood, which would have been fantastic if we actually got that burning blade. And we could have had a crazy, insane, strong wooden sword. Now, we could take shielded, or we could take Solaris Cider. But I'm not interested in running shields, so I might actually just grab hardwood. Now, that is freaking artifact stone debt, which we do kind of want to grab. Right now, I'm going to reserve it though. We're going to grab our chili pepper. We're going to roll once. If we want to grab a set of blueberries, well, let's roll again, and we definitely need some extra storage. Now, that's another freaking bag of stones. We're going to sell one flame to roll once. And that's all we can actually really do for now. Now, I'm going to switch that up top, and let's go to move on. And we're going to see. Now, with hardwood, we do start off with 20 block, which is not insane, but we'll have to do for now. Given a tiny bit of block so we can actually have that chance to scale up. It's not too bad, and we want to actually be able to get a lot more block at the very beginning. Give us a lot of time to scale up, get our heat stacked up, and smashing. Really fantastic. We're going to grab our stamina sec. We're actually going to grab this stone for now. Okay, with that, we are going to move on. Now, we do have artifact stone dead in this position, which is going to give us crit chance. It's also going to be inflicting some fatigue damage, targeting our Excalibur along with our flame. And we did move our mana orb over into this position, which will be triggering off our food items along with our Excalibur, which should be a pretty decent spot. And we're going to see. Now, we may actually want to get rid of our friendly fire, because it is going to be using up a lot of mana. And we're going to see. Now, this point, he's going to resurrect with that Dark Lantern. We're also going to have a ton of heat generation, so that Burning Torch is going to be doing a lot of damage. And we could be in big trouble, and unfortunately, we are in big trouble. And actually, that is a stable recombobulator, which we're going to take. We're going to roll once, twice even. And we definitely need a tiny bit of storage so we can actually fit this in. Well, let's roll again. That's another mana orb, which we have to buy this round, so I'm going to be selling pretty much our stones. Even though we do have stones, we definitely need this mana orb. Also, bloody armor on sale for 4 is just straight up craziness. Now, we're taking the stable recombobulator just for that buff every 2.5 seconds, which should keep us alive. And we definitely want that vampirism, but for now, actually, we could be selling our platinum customer card. Since we got our 2 uniques, it does protect our buffs. But I think we're actually going to sell it because I definitely want that bloody amulet. And let's keep it going for now. We're actually going to move our amulet feasting over to this position. Now, this mana orb is going to be targeting at least 2 of our fight items along with our Excalibur. So we should be in a pretty good spot, getting tons more mana, meaning that we can actually start to proc Excalibur. Getting tons of heat, getting tons of spikes. And so far, this is looking a hell of a lot better for sure. Stacking up our heat and smashing. And also, let's just check our crit chance right now. 42%, 42%. Not too bad overall. But for this round, we're going to be grabbing our potion belts. I'm going to roll. And I'm actually going to grab the shiny shell for now as we roll again. Now, I definitely want to grab another Honest Infinite Amulet, but I also want to grab another set of blueberries, which does lead to cheese, which we definitely want. And we're going to just flip this over so we can actually have this set of blueberries in. And I'm also going to grab this walrus tusk. I'm also going to flip you over to this side, because that should be a little bit more block for us. And with that, we are going to move on. Now, we did move our mana orb into this position, targeting all our food items. Except this one doesn't actually proc from our Excalibur, which is not super ideal. But we'll see. We should be in a much better spot. Now, our opponent is going to be inflicting some debuffs on us. They also have time dilator. But with our mana generator up, we should be in a pretty good spot. We should be able to get our Excalibur proc non-stop to be getting a ton of heat stacked up and then deal massive damage and the fight's over. Pretty good. Not too bad whatsoever. We definitely want to grab some stamina sack. I'm going to grab the Undead Filament over the cheese because that is literally an Amulet of Energy, which is super fantastic. And we definitely want to grab the cheese. But for now, let's grab an extra flame and let's go to move on. So with 2 Amulets of Energy in, we're going to be refunding 50% of our buffs, which means we're going to get a ton of mana back from Excalibur. The problem is we do have to survive until we get to that 11 mana. Once we get to that 11 mana, then we should have instant proc on Excalibur, keeping us alive But is it going to be enough? Actually, hell yeah. Just barely though. Now out of all these options, we're going to grab the cheese, which does lead to another cheese, which I do want to grab. But for now, we're going to be taking our tiny little bit of storage. I'm going to lose a bit of block to add in a bloody amulet for more vampirism. But right now, I'm going to be back in a second while I sort our inventory. Now with that, we did change all set around. Instead of getting crit chance to Excalibur, we just wanted Excalibur to be proccing as much as possible. Now with a Hardwood in, we should be getting a 30 block, which is not insane or anything like that, but we'll have to do. And we're going to have our crit chance actually stack up on our friendly fire along with our flame. And we're going to see, is this going to be good enough? We are reserving our extra cheese. But let's keep it going for now. Now we are going to begin a double axe with a hero longsword. It's going to be a lot of damage from our opponent. But so far, we're stacking up a lot more mana. And yeah, Excalibur should be proccing every time it triggers now. Giving us a ton of heat stacked up. And this is looking insanely good. Stacking up a bunch of max life and overall smashing. But hey, we ended up with a 60 DPS, which is not too bad overall. As for heals, we managed a 45 healing per second, a large majority of it coming from vampirism. So we do want to grab any more bloody amulets that we can actually find. We also stacked up quite a bit of max life, just about 20 per second, 220 life, basically from the cheese, which is not too bad. And then for block, honestly, stone not providing too much. We could literally just get rid of this. It is only 16 block. Let's go ahead and see if we can actually make this crazy. We've only 3 more rounds to go. So first of all, let's go ahead and grab cheese, which leads to another cheese. And I think we're going to get rid of the blueberries for now. We can slot that in like so. We're going to sell you to buy another cheese. And we can actually add in our extra cheese like so. And we could literally just get rid of our stoned skill. It is only 16 block. I think we're going to sell it. We're going to roll once. We're going to roll twice. And that's a bloody amulet. And a fanny pack. Let's keep going for now. With the cheeses, we should be able to stack up a lot of max life, keeping us alive as we pretty much scale up everything. But now the problem is our opponent is going to be inflicting a ton of debuffs on us, which is going to be problematic for us, because if we're not going to be able to hit, we're not going to be able to deal damage, and they're going to get invulnerability, which means our lifesteal doesn't work. But so far, actually, we've got a big crit with that friendly fire, and so far, actually looking smashing. Really awesome. 55 poison, 16 cold, 25 blind. Our accuracy must have been pretty damn bad, but we ended up stacking up a lot of luck, so actually turned out to be pretty good. But here, DPS is still 60 DPS. We do have a 7% crit chance. We actually got a big crit from our friendly fire, which is overall smashing. As for heals, we managed a 27 healing per second, with a 36 max life gained per second on top of it. Pretty good overall. Now as for mana generation, we managed to get an 8.4 mana per second, which is pretty good, but definitely needs to be improved if this has a 0.6 cooldown. So we're definitely going to grab a fanny pack. We're going to grab our bloody amulet for more vampirism. Let's go ahead and grab you, which leads to another cheese. Do we actually want more cheese? I don't think we do. We want to roll, grab this potion belts. Well, let's roll again, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Prismatic Orb, so we can start off with mana so we don't have to wait for that scaling. And also gives a ton more vampirism. Now we do actually want to jumble up all our items by adding in our fanny pack, so Excalibur can actually sit in all like so. But this is pretty much going to be our final item. And now we're going to see, is this going to be good enough? Another mana orb would have been super fantastic, for sure. But with our amulets, we do start off with a lot of max life, and now at this point, he's going to get a ton of vampirism. They're going to be inflicting a ton of debuffs. And we're actually going to see. So far, actually, we've stacked up a crazy amount of buffs, which is looking pretty good, and overall, actually turned out to be super smashing. Now, generally, I wouldn't like to go friendly fire with Excalibur because they both use up mana, but it actually turned out to be pretty decent. I think it's mainly because we have 50% of our buffs refunded. So every time the Excalibur does proc, we're getting about 5 to 6 mana back, which is smashing. And we're going to grab our Prismatic Orb. Now we do have to find a way to actually place it in. I think we're going to sell both these just to get a tiny bit more storage. Okay, and with that, we're actually going to rock on with a Prismatic Orb in this position, which does give us only 2 vampirism, but it does give us 6 mana. So we don't actually have a Excalibur mana as fast. And we're going to see, is this going to be good enough? Are we going to fall short? Can we win out? 2 Arms of Energy with this setup should be amazing. Now we're going to slow this one down. We are going to begin a crit with staff, moon armor, and we're going to have a lot of damage with that mark summon, and we're going to get a ton of healing from that Aegisla's Leap. However, actually they're doing quite a bit of damage, but we are stacking up that heat. And it's looking like we're answering back. We're about to get our big, massive smash, and that's a big crit. Ended super fast. And it's already over. Smashing. But hey, that was crazy. A big 250 smash to end it off. But that's one way to get crit chance on our Friendly Fire, which is actually kind of awesome. Now, it was only 42% chance, so it was pretty low, but we still managed to get it, and it literally turbo smashed. And giving our flame up that much damage too, as we stack up a ton of buffs. Pretty crazy insane. But hey, let's go ahead and check our DPS. So we ended up with a 60 DPS, 40 DPS before we got that big crit, which is kind of smashing, not gonna lie. Our opponent did have a 50 DPS from the crit with staff, plus poker. That spike's still a good bit too. But now if our opponent actually had different fancy rapier, this could have been a smashing. And we did end up with a 25 healing per second, with a 32 max health gain. So between the two, just about 57 effective HP per second. Pretty good. And then as for block, yeah, Hardwood 20 block. Honestly, doing this pretty much the same as to protect the little persons. But hey, our build actually dealt with a lot of cold pretty darn good. With our chilies, with that stable recombobulator also. Honestly, this stable recombobulator, even though we didn't actually recombobulate anything, to gain random buffs and cleanse some debuffs, actually pretty decent pickup. Especially since it only costs us 6 gold. And the Artifact Stone that actually turned out to be kind of awesome too. But anyways, we did survive with 2 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 10 and rank us up a decent bit. But anyways, I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope you can look out for the next one. See you next time.